So 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa may now face disciplinary actions after displaying a Make America Great Again hat following San Fran's win over Dallas. According to the NFL rulebook, players are not allowed to wear or display anything related to political activities. They are, however, allowed to discuss politics during press conferences, but when asked about the MAGA hat, Bosa was pretty quiet, saying, quote, "Not going to talk too much about it, but I think it's an important time." Rodney,
What's up?
ready to hear what you got to say.
What's your question?
What you got? I just want to know your reaction. Like, I just feel like if you gonna wear the hat, say what you want to say.
It's weak. It's weak, and we're not allowed. See, this is what I was talking about before, right? The WNBA allows for things of this nature. They allow their players to watch or to wear rather paraphernalia promoting political statements, and the NFL and other leagues do not. So we're not even allowed to talk politics on this show. I can't let people know where I fall politically on this show. And so I also have to be very mindful and conscientious of how I approach this topic. So if I'm not bull rushing into this and trying to softly land the plane, my apologies. Bosa interrupted a post-game interview, not to congratulate his teammates, right? Not to say, good job, we won. Like, normally when players do that to their teammates, they pour water on them. It's a celebratory moment because the team has success. This was a very individualized and selfish moment for Bosa. And it's very weird that he even had the hat. Where was the hat throughout the game, right? So this was pre-planned, which is also extra corny. Like, is this like T.O. with the marker in his sock? Where was the hat? You know what I mean? Because he didn't run back to the locker room. So was somebody holding it for him? That also needs to be investigated and discussed. It's premeditated, and I feel like there should have already been a penalty of some sort that had been issued for Bosa. It hasn't happened yet, and I'm waiting to see how the NFL handles this, because we know in the past with other athletes, Colin Kaepernick specifically, who also once played for the San Francisco 49ers, there was much to be said about keeping politics out of sports. And, Colin Kaepernick's statement wasn't even about politics. It was about the survival and existence of black people. And he was ostracized. So I'm interested to see when a truly political statement is made of this magnitude, how the NFL handles it.
And by the way, Nick Bosa also either liked a post or tweeted that Kaepernick was a clown for kneeling. So he's had a lot to say. I think we shouldn't overlook the history with Nick Bosa, right?
Since we know he's MAGA Nick.
Yeah. Right. And it's not, and my thing is, I don't have an issue with wherever you lean in this political climate. I don't really care about that.
I do.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's just like, he's very outward with it. And I know some people like to know where people stand. If you're racist, I want to know that you're racist. If you're homophobic, I want to know that. And he has no issue with letting people know where he stands, because he likes a lot of tweets. And I think that, honestly, was he reprimanded for that? Back then, like, a lot of the tweets that he was, I can't remember, but he should have been then.
There's no, what's the penalty for that? I don't think there's any penalty for that. Like, letting people know where you stand.
Well, I mean, if it's like racist now, it's like, come on, like, or somebody should have,
like the Chiefs,
if it didn't come from the league, then one of his teammates should have went upside his head. You know what I mean? Like, the locker room is majority black. It's like, somebody should have been like, nah, dog, like, what is this? Or checked him on that internally.
Check him on what exactly? Check him on what?
Like, are you racist? Like, what is going on? Like, you liking all this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know locker room culture, but I feel like if you're a brotherhood, then there really isn't any place for that, unfortunately.
Well, even the Chiefs kicker Bucker, right, when he gave his speech at a college early this year and disparaged women and reduced women to housewives and so on, there wasn't any penalty for that. And I don't know, but that was off the field. But there are athletes who have different varying degrees of understanding and political affiliations, and so we do have to create and allow them to have the space to have their affiliations, as they desire, but on the field, wearing paraphernalia that in a very critical moment of time, especially because we are a week out from the election, that's promotion, and on a national broadcast of that magnitude, that's a big deal. That's unpaid marketing and promotion, which there's a lot of money that's invested in these ads. We see him in every single moment of commercial breaks during football games and sporting events, right? And he gave them free promotion. And so he needs to be fined and taxed in accordance with how much that spot and ad would have cost for any other political campaign. That's how I feel about it. Bosa, like many people, do this cowardice thing where they, they'll wear a hat and they'll make a gesture, but when it's time to actually have real conversation and dialogue and substantiate why they are in alignment with these political parties or these statements or any of these things, they run from the conversation. More than likely because they don't have the intellect to actually sit there and have it. I don't believe that Nick Bosa is articulate enough to even be able to let us understand why his position is what his position is. And so I understand him taking the coward's way out and saying, I don't really want to talk about it. Where I'm from, that's flat out. And Nick Bosa is a big, strong white guy who makes phenomenal tackles and one of the best defensive players in the league. But when it comes to the mental game, he's not suited for that warfare. So I think maybe he should keep his politics away from sports. Why don't you shut up and tackle?
I'm just going to just drop the mic on that.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel like Nick Bosa should be penalized for wearing the MAGA hat? Or do you feel like he is well within his rights to make a political statement regardless of what the NFL bylaws say? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.